you want to know the secret to making any girl obsessed with you in just 7 days? We've all been there, searching for that magic formula that makes us irresistible. But, Supremo, let me tell you, it's not about luck, it's about strategy. Well, keep watching, because in this video, I'm going to reveal the key steps that will transform how you message a girl. These steps are like a spell to capture her attention and keep her interested. It doesn't matter if right now you feel like you have no idea how to do this. These steps will give you the confidence and knowledge you need to succeed. Let's start with day number 1. Use the bait and switch technique to make sure a girl always responds to you on dating apps. You'll hook her with an original message and then switch up how she expects you to respond. Here's a simple technique I developed to always stand out and get a girl's number. On day 1, you need to understand that the problem with dating apps like Facebook and Tinder is that you're competing with hundreds of other guys who have also matched with her. Knowing this, you need to start by prompting a response from her with a funny message. The reason it has to be funny is because, during a study that analyzed 213 single women and over 1,700 initial messages, men were 12% more likely to get a response when the first message was funny. The cool thing is, within the same study, they showed which messages were tested, and one of the top responses was something simple. Here it goes. Did we have class together? I could swear we have chemistry. It's cheesy, but you're just trying to be more original than a simple, hi. Now, when she responds, understand that this is a sign of interest, but that's when you change her expectations, and instead of replying like every other guy, you're going to respond by just sending her your phone number without any context and nothing else. This method will save you time and energy because it makes no sense to keep messaging her if she's not interested in taking the conversation off the app. Plus, you'll stand out from all the other guys on the platform, as you'll be showing confidence and assertiveness. And by now messaging her directly, you'll seem more valuable. You're presenting yourself differently to her, which will make her even more interested, but we're not done making her obsessed with you just yet. To make this happen with your crush, you'll need to follow the next 6 steps closely and do each one every day. If you don't, you'll end up like every other guy in her life, boring and predictable, and I can't let that happen to you. On day 2, there's an essential rule: never message her at certain times. If you really want to capture a woman's attention and make her obsessed with you, you need to understand when it's the right time to text her and when it's not. I want to share with you a personal schedule I've developed that will help you stand out from the rest. Many men make the mistake of constantly texting without a clear purpose, which makes them seem desperate and like they have no life of their own. To avoid this, you need to understand that it's perfectly acceptable to message her in the morning, between 6 o'clock and 8 a.m. It's when most people check their phones upon waking up. However, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., refrain from sending her any messages. This projects an image of someone focused on their responsibilities and busy with their own life. During lunchtime, between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m., you can briefly resume contact. After that, go back to your routine and don't message her until after 8 p.m. This will create a sense of mystery and show that your day was full of important activities. But remember, stop at 11 p.m. You don't want to seem like someone who only thinks about her. Implementing this schedule from day 2 and maintaining it consistently will help you show that you're interested but also have a full and balanced life. You're not someone desperate for attention, but a man with goals and responsibilities. Day 3. Today, we're going to use the maximum interest technique. By this point, the girl you're talking to is already interested in you. She probably sees you as a high-quality man, but we need to confirm her true interest. For this, we'll use the maximum interest technique. First, you'll send her the following: "Hey, it was great seeing you last night." The idea is to make her think you were with someone else and see how she reacts. This will give us a clear idea of how much she cares about you. If she doesn't respond at all, most people would think she's not interested, but my experience has taught me not to jump to conclusions. In reality, this could mean she's very interested and feels upset or jealous. If she responds by asking who you were with, that's also a good sign that she's feeling jealous and therefore interested. On the other hand, if she responds coldly or distantly, like wrong person, it could indicate disinterest. These methods only work if you have self-control over yourself and your emotions toward her. If you realize that you don't have that self-control or tend to obsess over the women you meet, you need to talk to a trusted friend. Someone who can help you differentiate between being obsessed and being genuinely interested. Many times, what you feel is obsession, and our goal is for her to be the one obsessed with you. So far, you've gotten her to respond to you on Tinder and moved to personal messaging. You've also learned how to seem more important by texting her at specific times, and now you're sparking a bit of jealousy with the maximum interest technique. However, to truly make her obsessed with you and get her to agree to go out, you need to learn the 10 messages you should never send, the false gender method to determine if you really want to take her on a date, and finally, a multiple choice option to ensure she says yes. We'll cover all this in the next 4 days. Day 4. Never send these messages. By the time we reach day 4, many men start to notice that the girls stop responding to them. This often happens because you've probably sent basic messages. If you want to make sure this doesn't happen and that she stays interested, or even obsessed with you, you need to avoid sending messages like, "Want to hang out? I'm bored. Good morning, beautiful," or, "I see you haven't responded to me." These make you come across as needy or weird, which is exactly the opposite of what you want. To avoid falling into this trap, I want you to replace these inappropriate messages by keeping the conversation simple and natural. Ask her about her hobbies or personal life, using messages like, "Did you hear about what happened with this artist? How many countries have you visited?" Or, "Can you give me a suggestion for where my friend and I should go for lunch?" These messages are always a good fallback when you don't know what to say. They won't make you seem needy and will always spark an interesting conversation. And look, sometimes, if you really don't know what to talk about, ask for the perspective of a woman in your life, your sister, a cousin, or a friend. They can offer you a female insight that will help you start and maintain a good conversation. My messages always work, but if you feel like you need more guidance, consider talking to a female counselor. This won't only help you understand her perspective better, but will also allow you to understand and express your own feelings more clearly. Understanding women and yourself better is key to keeping her interested and making her obsessed with you. Day number 5, make her feel jealous with the false gender method. If you've made it to day 5 and she's still messaging you, it means she's interested in you, my friend. But to make her obsessed with you, you need to learn how to subtly make her feel jealous without losing her interest. This is where my false gender method comes into play, a proven and effective technique. First, send a message to a friend asking if they want to watch a movie that night. Then, at some point during your conversation with her, ask her what plans she has for the night. When she asks what you're doing, tell her you're going to watch a movie with a friend. If she asks who that friend is, respond with neutral pronouns like they, or say something like, "Oh, you don't know them." Your friend might not like this much, but a true friend will sacrifice for the team. To take it to the next level, instead of saying, "Good night," later that night, stop responding and reply to her the next morning as if nothing happened. This will leave her wondering what you were doing all night that you couldn't respond, and that uncertainty will drive her crazy. This brings us to day number 6, determine if she's really worth taking on a date. Here's the thing. Many men are so desperate for female attention that they never stop to think if they actually like the girl or if they even want to go out with her. Before you waste your time and resources inviting her out, I want to show you how to know if she's worth it based on how she messages you. I'm going to give you a 6-point checklist to compare with the girl you're talking to. First, does she mention other men when she messages you? Second, does she respond with one-word answers? Third, does she gossip about other people in her messages? Fourth, does she frequently use profanity? Fifth, does she disappear on Friday and Saturday nights? Sixth, Does she leave your messages unread or take a long time to respond? If she only does one or two of these things, she might just be busy or not very into texting. However, if she does 3 or 4 of these things, you should seriously consider whether she's worth taking on a date. And if she does 5 or more of these things, it's best to delete her number, because if she treats you like this over messages, that in-person date is probably going to be a disaster. This brings us to day number 7. You will invite her on a date with a multiple choice question. By the time you reach day 7, the girl you've been talking to will be obsessed with you, which means it's the perfect time to ask her out. However, when it comes to inviting a girl on a date through messages, most men use one of 2 techniques that aren't the most effective. I want to teach you a third option that is much better and designed to ensure success. The first technique is to directly ask if she wants to go out with you. This will make you seem like a nice guy, and some girls might find it sweet, but it's not necessarily attractive. The second technique involves telling her that you're going out on a date. Some men think this shows assertiveness, but many women may find it too arrogant and off-putting. The third option, which I recommend, is to give her a multiple choice question. Would you like to go for coffee or dinner with me next weekend? With this technique, you eliminate the excessive niceness of the first option because you're giving her a choice, but you also show confidence and assertiveness by not giving her the option to say no. This approach is based on the choice overload bias, which will not only make you seem more attractive but will also significantly increase the chances of her saying yes. If you follow my strategy over these 7 days, I promise you will make her obsessed with you. Remember, the key is to maintain a balance between showing interest and maintaining your own value and independent life. It's not just about technique, but about attitude and self-confidence. If you follow my strategy over the next 7 days with your crush, I promise you'll make her obsess over you. Now, did you already know these conversation starters with women? Will you apply them? Let me know in the comments. And before you go, I want to invite you to watch the next video, where you'll learn how to start a conversation with a woman. Thank you for being part of this community, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe. See you later, Supreme.